Have a pleasant day, everyone. I am Noreen Bendio, and for this topic, we have here a food safety regulations and standard. Introducing group members, ang ulo ni Bianca Bendijo Noreen, Billiones Charmy, Eroy Leslie, Gran Capal Angelian, Martinez Faith, and Ortega Janmel.
Article 10. Foodborne Illness Monitoring, Surveillance, and Research. In Section 34, Foodborne Illness Monitoring and Surveillance to enhance food safety and reduce the risk of foodborne illness. The government will establish and support the following programs. A. Integrated Foodborne Disease Monitoring System. A national system will be developed to monitor foodborne diseases, linking the sources of contamination to specific food products. This system will collaborate with the Department of Health (DOH), National Epidemiology Center (NEC), and the National Center for Disease Prevention and Control (NCDPC). B. Hazard identification and risk assessment. Effort will focus on identifying potential hazard throughout the food supply chain. This includes assessing the levels of exposure to this hazard to better understand the risks they pose to public health. In Section 35, Research, the government and academe shall develop and implement a program of research on cost-effective technologies and codes of practice for assisting farmers, fisher-folk, micro, small and medium-scale enterprises, and other stakeholders to enable them to comply with food safety regulations. So the government, in partnership with academic institution, will implement a research program focused on cost-effectiveness technologies. Research will support the development of affordable and practical technologies for improving food safety across all levels of food production system. So, codes of practice. The program will also help establish best practices and standards for food safety tailored to the needs of farmers, fisherfolk, micro, small, and medium enterprises, and other stakeholders. They will enable them to meet regulatory food safety requirements for effectively. So these provisions aim to strengthen the food safety infrastructure, improve risk management, and support stakeholders in complying with food safety regulations.
Have a pleasant day, everyone. I am Noreen Bendio, and now we're going to tackle about the article number 11, which is the fallacy on fees. So, this part, the section 36, collection of fees, the DA or the Department of Agriculture, the DOH, Department of Health, and the LGUs, local government units that this fees likely support the agency's food safety and regulation efforts covering costs associated. So shall be allowed to collect fees for inspection of food products, production and processing facilities, issuance of import or export certificates, laboratory testing of food samples, and other fees as may be deemed necessary. So, fees shall be based on an official approved procedure for estimating the cost of the activity undertaken and shall be subject to government accounting and auditing rules and regulations. Thank you for listening. May I call on the next presenter?
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Charmily Billones, and I'll be tackling the Article 12, which is the prohibitions, penalties, and sanction. So, Article 12 of the law outlines prohibited actions and penalties related to food safety and quality of food in the Philippines. So under Section 37, it is illegal to produce, handle, or sell any food that doesn't meet set quality or safety standards. This is in line with regulatory systems that prevent contaminated or unsafe products from reaching consumers, ensuring food safety and quality. It is also illegal to sell or import food products that had been officially banned. So, blocking food safety inspectors from examining records or facilities is also prohibited, as preventing food safety inspectors hinders enforcement of food safety laws, putting public health at risk by obstructing necessary safety checks. Next is not following recall orders to remove unsafe products from the market is also illegal, since recalls are crucial for public safety, and it is also to protect consumers from potential harm such as foodborne illnesses. Next, altering, mislabeling, or falsely advertising food to deceive consumers is also forbidden, as these practices can lead to health risks or mislead customers about the product's quality. So let me call on the next presenter to present the remaining prohibited actions. Thank you.
So good day to each and everyone. My name is Ari Leslie, and in this slide we will discuss the continuation of section number 37, which is the Prohibited Act. F. Operate a food business without an appropriate authorization. G. Connive with food business operators or food inspector, which may result to food safety risks to the consumers. And lastly, violate the implementing rules and regulation of this act. So let's move forward to the section 38, which is the penalty. Any person who shall violate any provisions of this act shall suffer the penalties hereunder. For the first conviction, a fine of not less than 50,000 pesos but not more than 100,000 pesos, and a suspension on appropriate authorization for 1 month shall be imposed. For the second conviction, a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos but not more than 200,000 pesos, and a suspension of appropriate authorization for 3 months shall be imposed. And for the third conviction, a fine of not less than 200,000 pesos but not more than 300,000 pesos, and a suspension on appropriate authorization for the 6 months shall be imposed.
Good day, it's me again, Faith Martinez, and for the continuation, letter D, slight physical injury. If a violation results in slight physical injury, the business owner, upon conviction, faces a fine between 200,000 and 300,000 pesos and a 6-month suspension of their operating authorization. Additionally, they are responsible for paying the injured person's medical and rehabilitation costs. Example for this, we suppose a customer suffers minor food poisoning from a contaminated product and needs basic medical care. In this case, the business owner would incur this level of penalty. So for letter E, less serious or serious physical injury. When a violation leads to a less serious or serious physical injury, the fine remains between 200,000 and 300,000 pesos, but the suspension period extends to 1 year. The business owner also must cover all hospitalization and rehabilitation expenses. Example for this, imagine a customer bites into a hard foreign object in their meal, causing a broken tooth that requires surgery. This incident would fall under the penalty in letter E. So for letter F, lastly, death. In cases where a violation leads to a customer's death, the penalties are more severe. The business owner faces imprisonment of at least 6 months and 1 day, up to 6 years and 1 day. They would also pay a fine between 300,000 and 500,000 pesos and have their authorization to operate a food business permanently revoked. Example for this, if food contamination causes a fatal allergic reaction, this tragic outcome would trigger the strictest penalties outlined here. So, in summary, these penalties ensures accountability and encourage safety in food handling to prevent harm to the consumers. That is all. Thank you.
So, good day everyone. I am Nika Bianca Angulo, and for my part on the Article 12 prohibitions, penalties, and sanctions, I will be going to be tackling about the if and then, or the actions and the consequence and its consequences po. So, first we have if the offender does not have the appropriate authorization, the imposable fine shall be doubled. So, kung halimbawa po, ang isang businessman or business owner is nagtayo po ng business na kulang or walang masyadong papel na authorized po ng ating government, yung mga fines po or yung mga babayaran po nila is madodoble. So, kailangan po, kapag magtatayo po tayo ng mga business, is meron po tayong mga papeles ah, na approve ng ating government para po ma-ensure na susunod po tayo sa mga standards and also policies and rules. Next po, if the offender is a government personnel, in addition to the penalty prescribed herein, said personnel should be subject to the appropriate civil service laws. So, kung halimbawa naman po ang nakagawa ng isang illegal or unauthorized business po is a government personnel or nakatrabaho po sa ating gobyerno, meron pa po silang another or added na punishment. So, kung halimbawa po na meron po na pong standard na penalty, standard na babayaran, standard na jail time, meron pa po silang another na penalty na about naman po sa kanilang katayuan na naayon po sa kanilang posisyon po sa gobyerno. Kasi dapat po sa government personnel, mindful sila and dapat alam nila sa sarili nila kung ano yung mga dapat at hindi dapat gawin sa pagtatayo ng business. Next po is if the offender is a naturalized citizen, in addition to the penalty prescribed herein, the naturalization certificate and the registration in the civil registry of said citizen shall be cancelled. Immediately deportation after payment of fine and service and sentence shall be imposed. So kung halimbawa naman po is naturalized citizen or halimbawa po is foreigner po, halimbawa po Canadian na naging Filipino dahil po sa specific numbers na nilagi niya dito sa Pilipinas, yung nagawa or gumawa ng business na unauthorized or hindi po proven or approved by our government, yung mga penalties po na gagawin or na maipapataw sa kanila ay kailangan po nilang gawin at the same time made-deport po sila sa kanilang or made-deport or babalik po sila sa kanilang original na country. So, next po. For the next part, we have the first bullet, which is if the offender is an alien, said alien shall be summarily deported after payment of fine and service of sentence and perpetually barred from entering the country. So, yung alien po na sinasabi dito is yung mga tao po na hindi po citizen ng isang country. So, halimbawa po, isang Canadian na hindi pa po Filipino citizen. So, sila po ang tinatawag na alien. So, kung halimbawa po is hindi pa po registered na or Filipino citizen kahit po nanggaling sa ibang country, yung nagtayo ng isang business, ng unauthorized business rather, sila po ay maaaring mag-face ng consequence po, magbayad ng specific na amount ng pera, makulong sa specific na amount ng time, and also hindi na po silang papayagan na makapasok sa country natin. Ayun po. Then next, any director, officer, or agent of a corporation who shall authorize, order, or perform any of the acts of or practices constituting in whole or in part a violation of Section 37 hereof, and who has knowledge or notice of non-compliance received by the corporation from the concerned department shall be subjected to the penalties under this section. So kung halimbawa naman po na nag-authorize ng illegal action Kung halimbawang alam naman po nila yung magiging consequence nun pero inalaw pa rin po nilang mangyari, ay papatawan din po sila ng kaukulang parusa. So kung halimbawa po na may isang taong nakakaalam or talagang authorized na magpirma halimbawa po ng isang papeles, pero halimbawa pong may kulang pa rin po yung or may nilabag pa rin doon sa mga standards ng paggawa ng or pagtayo ng business yung isang businessman or woman. Tapos pinirmahan niya pa rin po yun kahit alam niyang may mali. Dun po magkakaroon ng consequences yun na personal ay magkakaroon po siya ng sariling punishment. So, ayun po. Next or lastly is, in case the violation is committed by or in the interest of a foreign judicial person duly licensed to engage in a business in the Philippines, such license to engage in business in Philippines shall be immediately be revoked. So, kung halimbawa naman po na ang isang foreign na kumpanya ay nagkaroon ng problema sa business or may nilabag po sila, yung lisensya po nila is kukunin, mare-revoke or hindi na po magiging valid sa Pilipinas and hindi na po sila pwedeng mag-operate. So, yun lang po for my part. I hope you learn something from it.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Meljan Ortega, and I will discuss the Article 13, which is the final provisions. In Section 39, implementing rules and regulations, the Department of Agriculture and Department of Health have to team up to come up with the rules so that everyone knows how to follow this act properly. They have 90 days after this act becomes official para ma-implement nila yung guidelines. Section 40, Separability Clause. Dito naman, basically, if may part ng act na naging invalid or against the law, yung ibang part naman will work as is. Parang mag-down man yung isang part, yung the rest of the act, tuloy pa rin sa pag-function na hindi naapektuhan. Section 41, Repealing Clause. This section means that if there are previous laws or rules na hindi align sa batas na to, they are automatically cancelled or kailangan baguhin para mag-match sa batas nito. So, bawal mag-conflict at iwasan na magkaroon ng conflict para smooth lahat. Lastly, Section 42, Effectivity. This section naman defines when the act will officially come into force. The act becomes effective 15 days after na may publish in at least two newspaper of general circulation, wherein ini-inform yung publiko bago ipatupad yung batas. So, isa sa requirements ng publication na to na mabigyan ng time for public awareness and preparation para sa pagpapatupad ng batas.
Thank you for listening. We hope that all of you learned a lot. Have a nice day.